I do a counseling instead of a group? Like
you can, depending, like if in case, let's say you have phobia, like, you know, some people.
Well, I'd rather do it like, you know, like with a, like, because when I had the counselor at my psychiatrist place, it's more of a one-on-one, and I feel like it's better, you know.
So the way I do my counseling, because I'm a recovery coach and I'm a certified addiction specialist. The certified addiction specialist is recognized in 7 countries. So internationally also they recognize
not just
addiction.
Here, all in other 7 countries.
And with that, a state of Massachusetts recognized it. Before, in the past, they didn't understand my skills.
Yeah.
September of 2017, they came and said, September 25th, 2017, they said, I don't even need to do an exam, because when Obama released that higher number, so they opened up 275 last year, and towards the end of first year alumni, like, you know, 1 year when we completed, they said, because they have a very high need, when like, you know, everybody was saying there is epidemic going on and stuff, they said whoever was addiction specialist automatically can apply without license or without exam to become a counselor. So I have 4 skills already. I am a paramedic. I used to run a truck, get out the truck.
Oh,
and all
you were
that.
in the
Yeah, I used to.
Oh, that's cool.
So I used to intubate people on the street. So I have other skills.
Yeah.
I'm a wound care expert. I'm a cannabis expert.
Cannabis,
medical cannabis.
So I have my card. Like, it looks just like my license, my ID.
Yes.
Like,
so,
you know?
So I shoot cannabis, but not only that, I do internship training, 1 year training, how to become better at it.
Yeah, how to cultivate
but
it.
But the way I do counseling is like music. The way we talk, I call this voice mapping. If you go on YouTube, check voice mapping, emotional healing with voice mapping.
Okay.
So what it is we use our muscles to speak. So the way we speak, I can put it into the frequency and tell what is the need for your body.
Because I'm giving off signals that you can.
Not only that, I'm going to say it in a way that makes sense to you. So everything is music. Let's think of it that way. Okay. You're playing a guitar, let's say, and somebody says, play a C note or D note, let's say. Okay, cannabis is D note. So you've never understood what is a D note, right? And you never heard it before. How would you play it, right? You don't understand. But I'm going to say it in another way so you understand. F note, we all play. And what it is shut up, is F note, okay? So, whereas like in the family, the D note is, I love you. I love you. We never even hear. We will be activated by the F note. So what we do is train the brain to hear D note. Once you hear that, even if 10 people are talking, the F note you'll pick up. If you never heard that tone being played, the D note would not. Even now, my kids, they would never. I'll say, hey guys, calm down. They'll never say. And my husband will say,
it's the tone of your voice.
Cut it out. And that's like, you know, so what
they once say, that's funny because that's what I call it, like with my girlfriend or whatever. It's like, oh, well, you know, if you give them the tone, like it's just the tone of your voice. It music. Changes, like, you know,
it's not
and it changes your thinking, like your actions when you're in that mood too. Like, so it's good to be able to train yourself how to control your emotions.
See, the thing is, the tone is coming from energy. So what we are transferring is more of an emotion. Even if somebody is smiling and say, hey, cut it out, we don't react, right? So it's the intensity, emotion, force of air we're moving through vocal cords that makes it. So when people talk, that's why like when people get high, their voice gets heavy, right? That's because their testosterone goes up at that second. And then when they calm down, they'll be estrogen high. People who have a tendency to talk high pitch are not making steroids. So that's why, like, you know, people, even men will become like female, very emotional when they are like in the drugs and stuff. That's because
it lowers their testosterone level and highs.
Yeah.
Because men,
So
we have estrogen as well. We have estrogen as well.
So your estrogen
goes
up.
Stays the same or goes up, and the testosterone drops, and then they become.
So
because I'm very. I learned a lot. I was gonna do into like sports medicine and about that, and also like I was getting older, so like after 30, you really have to like start to monitor to make sure that your levels are correct and like. So we have estrogen. Boys too,
so the way we do counseling is with Positive Anonymous 12-step program. This is just to change behaviors. The way we hear people is with past experience. Let's say somebody comes and tells me you're a junkie. For me, it doesn't mean anything. I don't associate it with that word. But if by chance, let's say I have a huge hurt in me, somebody say that would be the trigger. I'll go punch them, right? So what in counseling I do is help them listen to themselves, how they hear. And so then we play it, so we reset those areas. And plus we let them talk about it. So by talking about it again and again, you disassociate. Because when you create a word and you create a feeling inside and you build a relationship that's good, you build it. You create a thought and you build a sensation that makes you feel sad, we disconnect like a Caesar. So that's my counseling. My counseling is based just on music. So we just play like blues.
Yeah, it sounds super cool. Like
so whereas the group is going to be different. So I got approved.
What do you think I should? I would be more of a counseling person, right? What do you think?
It all depends
I don't
on
want to go in a
convenience.
group. What are we gonna do? Wait for everybody to take a piss, and then I'm gonna go in a room with I just want to come in here and see you, and if we got to do counseling,
we can make it flexible,
and then go back to Bedford in the real life, like what?
Yeah, which I already do. I'm doing counseling already with you, but there's a software we can play, so you can see where you're not mapping. See, the problem is not what you're not hearing. Sometimes we have blackouts, so you're blocking out those painful sounds. So because of that, you're not even hearing what people are saying. So when we point it out, it's easy. I mean, it's safe place for you to open up. So then you process better. So that is one thing I do. And plus, I'm a wound care specialist, and I'm also good at medication management. So there are multiple ways you can
things that we can talk about and counseling. But do I have to remember how the counseling book? Like I will write down the time. I mean the group book. Like, do I just tell you?
No,
like
when we do the appointment,
every time it would be once a month when I saw you or something. Like,
it depends on your insurance specifications. Let's say, like your insurance says he has to have counseling at least 2 times a month.
Yeah, I have it. I forget what it is. It's a certain amount because every time I do the pre-authorization, like
they mandate
maybe once a month or something.
So like, what you can do is the counseling time you can stretch it. Like instead of doing a 15-minute visit, it'll be 40. Like
cool.
Which already we are doing right now, even though it's supposed to be a smaller visit. We talked, right?
Yeah.
So that's what it's not as complicated as you think.
But I would rather have a person that I meet with that knows me, and we, and like I love learning new stuff about how to control my emotions and pick up on what's around me. It sounds awesome.
So if you are interested in learning how to do VAS mapping as a career, we can also teach.
What was the thing you said on YouTube? You said
my channel is
voice mapping.
Voice mapping.
Yeah, that's the word. I just wanted to remember that one.
See, what it is we are trying to figure out.
Do you have anybody else out there? My mother.
You know what? Actually, the reason I'm doing it this way is I had a friend.
I didn't want to screw anybody.
No, but like what I'm saying, I'm going to tell you a story. My friend's father had a cancer, and she's a nurse. She brought him to Dana-Farber Institute. Okay, so it seems the guy who is the doctor closed the door. He says the whole world doesn't exist anymore. It's just between you and me. I have all the time in the world. And that's a space I always give it to my patients. Don't worry about others because it's your time. And once you go there, out there, if you're going to call me and say you want to answer me, I'm not doing it either. I do it both ways. I give you undivided attention because you're very special at this moment. But at the same time, I feel it's nobody's business how long we spend.
Oh yeah.
So you understand, because that's the same space you want to bring to others too. Because when people are hurting, it's better to give them one extra breath, two extra breaths, because that is lifeline for them. Once you do that, then they can carry on by themselves. I'm doing nothing for you. I'm just listening to you and reassuring you, right? And this is going to last you for another week, because when you're having a moment of weakness, you're going to think about, oh, Dr. Brown said this. Yeah. And oh, I couldn't mess up. People come and tell me, they said, I almost screwed up, but then I felt I couldn't look you in the eye and say I was clean. So I forced myself.
Yeah.
Because it makes it easy for you to know that you're going to do the right thing and you're going to be appreciated. Right? Because it's not me you're looking at in my eye, it's you.
Yeah.
When you look, it's a reflection of you. You're looking at it, say, "Oh my God, I cannot lie to myself."
This makes you force you to where you actually have to look at yourself. You know what I mean? By coming in here every week. Whereas if they were just left alone to their own little mind, they wouldn't really have to face it every week. You know what I mean? Like,
and I feel that's the same thing.
That's a cool way of like saying it. Like, you're not really kind of like, you're not really afraid to look into, like, be disappointing me. You're also like gonna be disappointing yourself. Like,
and that's the same thing. He's my superpower or higher power.
Ooh.
My teacher.
Okay.
So he makes us go to his meeting every Sunday, mandated.
Okay.
So just like how you check in with me, I need to check in with him. And he's a clairvoyant. If I mess up, he knows I'm messing up.
Yeah.
Because one thing he doesn't like is to be a liar.
Oh, that's my most hated thing. And then especially like friends and family, it bothers me because you know what? Nobody even cares about what you lied about. That you just lied to them is all you could like. Yeah. Like you could have told me whatever, and I wouldn't have cared. The only reason why people get upset is because they were lied to. Like, do you know what I mean? You don't even ever really even care about what it was. You're just upset because you were lied to. And I feel like there's so much that they can be avoided, like misunderstandings and problems and arguments. Like if you just are a little more open. Like,
when he does his meeting, right?
It's funny that you said that. He's like, he hates lying.
Because you know why? He actually 2 weeks ago he brought up this. I know there are lots of good shows will be going on now. I know you would rather be watching TV rather than me, but he says you have to make a commitment. So he says, I don't want you to be a fling in my life. I love that.
It's nice that he has a good way to
Yeah, he's very practical. And then he says, I'm going to be the worst villain if you're a liar. I'm going to be your soulmate if you're connected with me. And another thing, even though he is not physically there, if I'm going to pretend to be attending his meeting and doing something else, watching YouTube on the cell phone and stuff,
he knows.
Even though he doesn't know, he would say, "Shame on you," he says, why are you even giving me a word you're attending when you would rather be doing that? And he says, if you're going to be doing that, go mess up. He says, don't pretend to be attending my meeting.
Either be here or don't
be here 100% or get out of my space. So I think he trains us to be a better human being, and that's what he wants us to be.
But not to settle either, not to let your mind trick you that I can miss this right now, like to train your mind to step up. Like, you know what I mean? Make the full commitment.
So that's what he wants to reflect to you. He says, tell them, because it's Positive Anonymous 12 stuff. He's my part. So he says, just like me sponsoring you, sponsor others through me so that I can trust you with organizing these type of issues. And he says, if you don't even do number one job properly, how can I give you number two job? It's like he says, if you have to go up on the grade of doing the right thing, more and more doors will open. But he says, if by chance you are so caught up with your own ego, I don't need to listen to you. You're not the boss of me. I mean, he's not paying me or I'm not paying him. But he says, ability to trust each other equals relationship. And he says having a stable mood instead of going up and down is health. And he says ability to
balance.
stop your life when I call you and come listen to me is wealth. He says if you're working for another person who doesn't allow you to talk to me, you are a slave to that person. He says first get a job that would allow you to listen to me. So that's what I want to bring it to you, because don't worry about others, because my time is very precious. So that would allow you to hold that strength when something feels like screwing around with your mood. Okay.
Cool.